Alright, let's replace this boiler together. Me, you, Nemo, and a lunch drop-off from the Superstar. We also gotta run a gas line because we're going oil to gas, so let's turn this puppy off, drain this sucker down. We're gonna use the Milwaukee pump. People are gonna say, is that pump any good? And I'm gonna tell you, it's good enough to get rid of the water out of a water heater, 40-gallon, and a boiler. It does the trick. Would I buy another one? I guess so, because I just don't like traveling with extension cords. There's Nemo himself, and we're gonna dismember the flue. Don't worry, around here we got clay chimneys in some spots with the inserts, and, well, we're just going right back into it. Nemo, I know what the comment section's gonna say. He should have safety glasses on, and you should be wearing work boots. You also should have 4 inches of sleeve and jeans on. Look at Nemo brought his beach bucket with him. He thought he was on vacation. Those days are over, kid. It's time to lose the bucket and grow yourself a mustache. But yeah, the comment section, they're gonna say, oh my god, I once wore no work boots and I broke my foot for 7 years. Matter of fact, I had to actually get the foot cut off. Now I got a wooden leg. Listen, even if I wore work boots, they wouldn't be steel toe, because I've never bought a pair of steel toe in my entire life. So I'm gonna rock sneakers until the day I break my foot, I guess, and then you guys can say I told you so at that point. But until then, I'm going comfortable. I'm on vacation for the rest of my life. Here we are dropping off the boiler, so now the comment section is going to say this. You guys, oh my god, you needed one of those for a boiler that small? I would have carried that down on my back. But we're going to work smarter, not harder. We're going to get the old boiler out with the same machine. I'm not going to turn this away. It comes with the territory of buying the boiler and water heaters off these people. If you got that thing drained and ready to go by the time they do the drop-off, they're taking it with them. So it saves me time and money and headaches and my back as well. And I saw some other people. Took 3 years to get that thing out of the basement, but then 6 posts ago when I was working alone, they were like, you should hire help. So you just can't win online, but I do win every 22nd of the month when paychecks come in from all the apps. Anyways, moving on. I know some of you are going to say, well, I don't think you should have reduced that down at the boiler. So this is just a boiler swap. It's as simple as it's going to get. It's one zone. It's like a 1,200 square foot apartment, but unfortunately it goes both ways, just like your sister. It's going to go left and it's going to go right. So in order for me to get, and it's only got one thermostat, so that means one zone and we're going 2 different ways. So what I'm going to do on that is just add a couple of extra ball valves, so that way if it short cycles itself, I can kind of dumb it down on one side so it pulls more from the other side. We're not going to go ahead and repipe the whole house just because the boiler was from the early 1980s and it needed to be swapped out. She also wanted to get away from oil and move on to natural gas because it's right there in the house. And why not at that point? We're rocking Webstone valves. You can spin those things 360 degrees. See that? Left, right. Where we going? Not over the motor head just in case the hose leaks on it. Dougie Fresh, DMC. He's my guy. We're wiring all the boilers for the rest of our lives together. And now we're moving on to, so 2 of the 90s on the steel, 2-inch pipe. See it? There it was. It was really corroded and rusted. So I'm going to end up cutting both those off. Plus, it's going to look a little cleaner when I go back on the supplies to get it to the boiler. 2-inch Green Dot Vega Mega Press. That's the shit right there. It's got to be Green Dot. That's for water. And once you get to 1.25 inches, you need these rings with the RP 350. There it is right there, the big boy toys. I don't think you can do it with anything smaller than that. At least that's what your sister said. Some of you are going to tell me in the comment section I need to use a hold-back wrench, but I know when to use one and when not to. I mean, the other pipe's not moving, and if I watch that MegaPress adapter spin, I know it's completely legal, and at that point I would put a hold-back wrench on it. So it's only 15 PSI on the boiler package, so I get it tight enough. Now we're going to be cutting some 1-inch, that's type M copper, tying in the supply. There it is, like new, Dougie Fresh, wiring it up. He's got a page, it's tagged, DMC Electric, that's my guy. And there's the other supply. See, both ways. One comes from one side of the house, the other comes from the other side of the house. It's only got one thermostat, Superstars dropping off lunch and a coffee. We're trying to bang this boiler out in one day. And what's a show without Superstar showing up? You know what I mean? Can we get a moment of silence? Beautiful smile on that girl. So now we're shutting the gas off and we're putting up the hangers. It's just a straight 21-footer from the main over. I didn't get me slinging the pipe in there, but you can check me out on OnlyFans slinging plenty of pipe on there. Turning the gas back on just to make sure she's all well and good, but don't worry, we're not starting the boiler up until September or October. I got to get her inspected. It's all said and done, so there's a supply. We're turning the water onto it right now. Webstone valve. Yep, she's full. Spiral vent. So there you go. There's the supply. It's going two different ways. I put valves on them so we can isolate or even just kind of, make them act like a circuit setter, I guess, at that point. Choke them down so that way it doesn't short cycle on one side of the house. Well, we're not going to know that till it's cold outside. Unistrut strapped to the chimney. There's the return lines. I left those 90s because they looked in pretty good shape, but I also added valves on that just in case. 2-inch all the way back to the house. And I don't know what else to talk about. Dougie's Fresh Electrical doesn't get any cleaner than that. You know what I mean? So that's my boiler builds. You guys can rip me apart in the comment section. I'm sure it's going to do just fine for at least the next 25 years, hopefully 30. We're going to get some of the air out of the system from there. Then we're going to move the hose over to the Webstone. Look at that thing. It's like your sister on a Saturday night. We're going to move it over to the Webstone valve right now and get it purged out through the house, pull it through the radiators, which is never enough. I got to go upstairs actually and bleed the radiators throughout the end of the day. And we're going to... Now we're going over to check it out. It's all said and done. One last look at her, and then we're going to cut the throat, because how else do we end a video around here?